Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubong Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
You're still watching the Afia Business Morning, and this is the Eastern Business Report. And well, it usually comes right after the global business, right here on the Afia Business Morning. And well, it's always designed to look at issues bedeviling the business scene here in most parts of the Southeast. And today, we're going to be looking at something very critical. We're going to be looking at the just launched Enugu GIS and its impact on real estate business in Enugu State, Nigeria. So you're welcome. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. You're welcome back to the Eastern Business Report, and like I did say on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be looking at issues around the recently launched Enugu GIS and its impact on real estate business right here in Enugu State very specifically. Joining me on this conversation is none other than Chimabi Patrick Okorie, Esquire, who is the Honorable Commissioner, Lands and Urban Development, Enugu State. It's good to have you join us this morning. Welcome.
Morning, Ubong. Good to be here. Yeah. Compliments, obviously.
Compliments to you too. Just before we get into this conversation, I would want us to just take a look at when it was launched, the day it was launched. We had the opportunity to have that report. So I'll just have it play back, and then we'll come back. We start the conversation. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Great. Let's take a look at it real quickly, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay.
Sequel to his pronouncement during the town hall meeting last weekend to establish a system that would effectively ease land management and administration in Enugu State, Governor Peter Mbah has launched the Enugu State Geographic Information System, ENGIS, which he said is crucial for economic development, attracting visitors to the state and allowing citizens to apply online and get their land titles within 48 hours.
The core indicators of the ease of doing business. You notice that two items there are related to land administration, management, and processes. So if you look at things like ease of obtaining your title, you know that is a core part of that indicator. If you look at also the ease of obtaining your construction permits, it's also another item on the ease of doing business. You're also now able to, at the comfort of your home, apply and conduct your searches, and you get the results almost immediately. So you can imagine the bundles of documents we had to digitize. We had to convert from their manual status to the digital, upload them to the digital platform. Imagine the survey, going back early 20th century. So this is a very old city with long history of several administrative hubs, because for you to have a full functional NG system, you must have your past records, all uploaded into a digital platform. And we now have a line of sight of all the lands in our state. And what this has also done is that you are now able to monetize even your rural land. So you can basically come forward, that mansion you have in your village that has no maybe commercial or business value. With NGs today, you can actually approach NGs and obtain your title document for even the land you have, the buildings you have in your various communities. It is also going to create transparency in our land management and administration. So all the era of opacity in our land transaction is also gone.
The Enugu State Commissioner for Lands, Barrister Chimaobi Okorie, alongside other key players, expressed their support, noting that Enges would increase the revenue of the state. They further commended the governor for digital transformation in his administration.
It is not just an inventory, but a real-time platform for users to conduct transactions like searches, applications, certifications, and geolocational activities of our security systems for agriculture, water supply, town planning, to mention a few. In line with His Excellency's commitment to the tripod of transparency, traceability, and accountability, this tool will block inefficiencies in our legacy revenue assurance and revenue profile in land processes.
When this NG's law was brought to the House of Assembly, it was still a bill, and we were doing our job. We called for public hearing. The people of Enugu came en masse. The professional bodies came, made inputs. It was well debated. All the dots were looked at, all the T's were crossed, and at the end of the day, we brought the document to you, and you graciously made it a law by appending your signature. Today is remarkable because we have been in the business of making laws, but the political will to implement those laws have always been what we lack.
NGs will be the first of its type in Nigeria. This will be the first place, having worked in 3 other states on geographic information system in Nigeria. I can say this is the first of its type, where you do applications online. We don't need to see you. You make your applications and receive your acknowledgement in your bedroom. This is something remarkable. By implementing this cutting-edge technology, you are not only modernizing land administration, but also creating an enabling environment for investment, job creation, and urban planning.
The highlight was the commissioning of the Enges building.
With immense joy and pride that I formally commissioned the Enugu State Geographical Information System for the benefit of Ndi Enugu and humanity at large, and to the glory of God.
In Enugu, Chidinma Madu for Afia TV.
Thank you, Chidinma, for that report. And let's get into the conversation. I still have with me in the studio none other than the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Urban Development and the person of Chimaobi Patrick Okorie, Esquire. Yes, you just saw the report, but quickly, it's a few things I want to find out. Right, and the governor mentioned quite a number of things, transparency and all of that, accountability, etc. Tell me, thus far, how would you rate the level of acceptance or patronage, for lack of better expression, of Enugu to this GIS as it stands from the day of the launch?
Thank you very much for this moment. I would say that it's been tremendous. The acceptability, it's been very, very massive. And it's really, for us, a confirmation of this process. Because if you recall when the Honorable Speaker of the House was speaking, he mentioned how His Excellency the Governor placed a bill on the GIS systems before the House Assembly. So we had a very robust public engagement. We had comments from the various professional bodies, from multiple stakeholders in the lands ecosystem. And most of the comments enriched this law, such that the law, when it was signed in, was something that everybody contributed to. And so everybody was looking forward to this flag of the systems. Yeah. So the acceptance has been wonderful. We are very excited, and we are happy that we're engaging positively.
Okay, thank you for that response right there. Quickly, one of the key issues that had been raised with reference to this GIS issue is the cost. GIS software, according to my research, can be pretty expensive. There are additional costs for hardware, employee onboarding, and sometimes data collection. How is this being handled at the moment?
Thanks. Now, when His Excellency Dr. Peter Abba, the Governor, committed to the GIS, he actually commissioned a study, a cost-based study. So there was a cost-benefit analysis. And I am talking of things that were done even before he became governor. If you read his manifesto document, the statement of purpose, you will see that he emphatically said we will deploy the GIS too. This study showed us that, yes, there will be an initial injection of capital, but then that with efficiency, it would ultimately be of tremendous benefit. It would actually get to the point where it is evened up and the system is able to fund itself. And beyond even that, it will get to the point where it is actually a source of revenue for the state government. So we think that, yes, it requires an initial capital injection, but then down the line with efficiency, with the fact that it has blocked out all these leakages, the transparency you mentioned, it will definitely be able to fund itself, ultimately.
Okay, now let's look at real estate business and developers, all of those, that ecosystem and the GIS. How will this impact their businesses, for the positive or otherwise? Let's talk about that.
It's a case that His Excellency made for collective prosperity, for shared prosperity for Enugu. And so for those in the real estate business, we feel them, we hear them. Initial research showed that they had a lot of concerns with issues of multiple allocation of title.
Yeah.
They had challenges with even the timeline to get their permits, to get their building plan approvals, and of course to get their title to their land. So they had challenges sometimes even with the fact that legacy situations, there were estates that turned out to be physically sitting on other estates. So these were challenges that His Excellency Dr. Mba saw and found out that the GIS would naturally solve all of this. It's a software that shows you in real terms and in real-time terms what exactly is it with the entire land resource in Enugu. So if you intend to do an estate somewhere within the state, wherever, because it's a system that it's not just about the urban area really, you find out you can, just at a click of button, tell the land you're doing your estate. You can tell whether it is truly vacant or whether there is an encumbrance on it. So for developers, it's fantastic. And then it takes out the bottlenecks, of course, that come with human interventions in processes, in government processes. So you're not compelled to walk into the office again and then do some paperwork and then go to the bank and make payments. Everything is digitalized. So you're doing all that online, you're doing the payments online, you're getting your approvals online. His Excellency is approving, if it's for His Excellency's attention, is approving online, and everything is seamless. So I think that for developers, for real estate developers, this is I think Christmas came a bit too early. Yeah.
Okay, so very well then. Now let's look at quite a number of issues, okay? Other things, I wouldn't call them issues per se, but this is important so we clear the air and the dust, you know, with reference to the GIS. Now, you said something very emphatic, the fact that it could be done seamlessly and from the comfort of your home and all of that. Now, what is the time frame here? For instance, I want to get a deed of, it's a deed of assignment or something. How long will it take for that to happen? Is there a time frame stipulated for that?
The instructions we have from you know, the governor are that this should be concluded within 48 hours. From the operations we watched just a moment ago, these processes were concluded in minutes. People at the launch, and those were real time, those were not simulated. Right. They were actually testing the systems. Within 10-15 minutes, people did searches on their property, existing properties, and they concluded within minutes. You know, people tried to regularize titles. So right now, what we're assuring our investors, real estate investors, is that within 72 hours max, they have their authorization.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's talk about I would want to call it user adoption in this one, right? Because GIS, sometimes a lot of persons think it's a little complicated. Let's talk about that part. I mean, can anybody from any background whatsoever be able to assess this and pretty much use it to find out if there's a property somewhere, if it is legit or not, whether it's given out to someone else? Anybody at all? Absolutely. Anybody. And of course, what we're going to be doing as a stopgap is that we're going to also recognize maybe licensed agents. Okay. Yes. So we recognize the fact that capacity building must be continuous. I was going to come to that, but go on. Okay. Yes. So everybody is encouraged, of course, to do it himself or herself. But where you have a challenge, you have the option of either walking into the office for support or making sure that whoever, it's like when you do your visa application, there's always a column where they ask you to confirm that you did it yourself or that somebody did it for you. Yeah. So it's important that you recognize the fact that whoever you're going to use is somebody that you find reliable or trustworthy. It's also a layer that we intend to regulate very seriously so that we don't have any backlash. We want to make sure that if there are quote-unquote agents who are going to support people in this process, there are people that we know and that we accredit appropriately. Talking about agents, will this happen? Will this happen anytime soon? Really? Because one of the issues, like you already did mention, is security and privacy, right? And the good part is you already talked about the fact that if someone wants to use someone, it has to be somebody he trusts, someone he of course, you know, can give out those kind of information to. Are there any security or privacy concerns that Indiana should be worried about with reference to GIS? Part of the outcome of the study commissioned by His Excellency, Dr. Peter Mba, on the GIS, even before it was deployed, was with respect to the data regulations. Right. Yes, the data governance issues. His Excellency recognizes the fact that we're moving into a digital economy, which is data-centric, and that one of the critical factors is confidence. Right. Confidence, security. So the system is already fully security enabled. We are guided by the international standards in terms of data management and data control. There are no fears whatsoever. In any case, it's also to remember that this was data that we had, you know, in the hard copies. We had in the papers, in the files, and all of that. You mentioned that, yeah. So, and even at that time, we didn't have challenges with data security. Yes, and we intend to do even more at this point because we are guided by international standards. Of course, we know about the Data Protection Act, which we recently signed in by Mr. President, and we are mindful of that. We are guided by the constitutional rights of citizens to have their data protected. So the security is guaranteed, is ensured, nothing to worry about. Okay, I like the fact that you say there's nothing to absolutely worry about.
Nothing.
Because I know that's one of the issues. Because I remember I had a conversation some time ago with someone who is pretty much into real estate, and he was mentioning some of those things that's on some of his concerns. But thank you for making that happen. But now let's look at something finally, just before I let you go. The place of, you say something about agents. And I want to key into that because not everybody will be that opportune to come to the office, so to speak, if there's a need for support. And if there is a place or there's a thinking or a plan to have agents accredited by the government, I hope we're going to be having skilled personnel there, because that is usually an issue. Because when you have someone, I mean, we've seen a lot of things happen several times where someone goes to a particular office that represents another office, and he can't get the same kind of service he's supposed to get from that smaller office, even though it is representing the bigger office. I don't think that's going to happen with this one, would it?
Not at all. And I would inform our stakeholders that the level of migration to the e-governance platform across every sector in Enugu State is massive.
Okay.
As at a few weeks ago, we successfully got every public servant uploaded to the e-governance platform.
Interesting.
And His Excellency, Dr. Tambari, Governor, has just authorized that laptops should be procured for every public servant. So that tells you that it is a practical thing. Everybody is already being put to that high level of capacity where they can provide support. So at the end of the day, when we decide to have some dedicated agents to support our stakeholders who want to, utilize the GIS tool, we are going to make sure that they are properly scrutinized. We are going to be guided by the key requirements of the Data Protection Act, like I mentioned, and we're going to make sure that the expertise is there, that there are technical experts who have what is required to provide this support. And integrity is one thing we don't kid with in that respect.
I think that's a good place to leave it. I mean, just before I let you go, is there anything else you want to tell on the Enugu, especially first, I mean, with Christmas and we're on Boxing Day, and still reference to this development GIS, really. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. I will just, while wishing the Enugu a wonderful holiday, Christmas holiday, I would want to say that we are grateful that the dream of His Excellency Dr. Peter Dusimba is materializing so quickly, especially in the lands ecosystem. So as you come around for holidays, take your time, visit the office, visit us, speak with us. Let's know your interests. Do you want to invest in real estate? Do you want property for your other factories or industries? Do you want to unlock assets in your village? When you look at that mansion in your village, like His Excellency mentioned, do you want it unlocked so that it will have proper commercial value and so that you will have a valid and secure title over it? Please feel free to talk with us. We will be happy to support in that regard.
Okay, very well. I think that's a good place to leave it. I've been playing host to the Honorable Commissioner, Lands and Urban Development, Enugu State, in the person of Chimobi Patrick Okorie Esquire, and we've been talking very specifically about the recent launch of the GIS, Enugu GIS, and how it's impacting or intended to impact the real estate sector in Enugu State. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. You may want to kindly join in on the conversation, watching live as well on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly go to www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, remember you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next will be Onya Afia. Thank you for your time. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.